Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Young children forced to go into survival mode. The shooting at that school in Uvalde forced some of the very youngest students to play dead.
Now, one of those survivors is recovering at Methodist Children's Hospital. 10-year-old Noah Orona says that he saw his teacher shield other students from the gunman before she was shot. Noah says that he played dead after he was shot in the shoulder. Now, another student, Mia Cerrillo, says that she and her friend used her dead teacher's cell phone to call 911. Cerrillo's aunt says the young girl woke up one night in terror when she realized what she had experienced. Cerrillo's aunt says the student was in survival mode.
Mia got some blood and put it on herself so she can pretend that she was dead. I think we just have to pray and ask God to help us move forward through this situation. I know it's traumatizing as it is.
Mia spoke with CNN off camera. She was too afraid to do an on-camera interview, but she wanted to share her story to let people know what it's like to live through a school shooting.
On Sunday, President Joe Biden set to visit Uvalde along with First Lady Jill Biden. The White House says the president hopes to console victims. Biden has also renewed a push for tighter gun laws. Tonight, all the victims in the deadly shooting at Robb Elementary have been identified. That's all 19 students and both teachers. All the student victims of this tragic attack, no more than 11 years old. One of the wounded children that was brought to San Antonio has been released from the hospital. That's a bit of good news. 2 remain hospitalized, along with the shooter's grandmother. And tonight, the community of Uvalde is leaning on each other for support, much like they've done since Tuesday. They gathered in downtown, where a second memorial has now sprung up.
We have 21 crosses there laid out to represent, of course, the 21 lives that were lost. The night team's John Paul Barajas spoke with people at that memorial. John Paul, what stood out to you?
Steve, Stephania, the community rallying together, hands down, the most impactful thing. We've been here since Tuesday. In the coming days since then, Uvalde strong. That phrase has been popping up more and more, whether it's on buildings, windows, car windshields. People even say it to us in passing. And this right here is the perfect example of Uvalde strong. This vigil started at 6 p.m. We're into the 10 o'clock hour, and there is still such a large crowd showing support. And right now, I want to take a listen to what some of these people have told us. Pain, heartbreak, loss, love, support, compassion. It's all found at the Uvalde Memorial Park as people come to pay their respects to the 21 victims who lost their lives. We spoke to a Robb Elementary teacher, a survivor, broken down, barely able to keep herself up, remembering each of the students and her colleagues. The teacher saying, it's what the people don't understand. I've told many parents that their kids are my kids. She was visibly hurting. Those emotions also seen in little ones. Kids seen staring at crosses, crying and mourning their friends. Many dropping off toys, flowers, or angels, like EJ Zamora, who graduated from Robb Elementary last year.
I knew Amory Jo Garza. Her dad was my coach for baseball this year. She was a nice girl, really nice.
He hasn't been able to speak with his coach, but he wanted to share this message for him.
I hope in prayers for you that you're okay.
Every local resident we spoke to has some tie to a victim. Martha Garcia says Irma Garcia was her now 21-year-old son's third-grade teacher. Garcia died trying to protect her students Tuesday.
She made a real good, long-lasting impression on him. He was really heartbroken to hear about her loss.
And the support for Uvalde stretches so much further than just this community. We spoke to countless people from out of town, so many of them also from San Antonio. They all said similar things. They felt compelled to come. It hit too close to home, or even just hit too close to home because they also have children that are young, around the same age group. All of them also saying they want to stand with Uvalde, and that's exactly what they're doing tonight. In Uvalde, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
A lot of people standing with that community tonight. Thank you, John Paul. Now, many people are trying to actually help families prepare for their children's funeral. Today, we learned an anonymous donor offered $175,000 to cover victims' funeral costs. Others have helped with flowers and funding sites. Help also coming in all the way from Edna, Texas, where volunteers are working nonstop to deliver custom caskets to families in Uvalde. So far, 17 families have taken up the offer.
It's the least I can do for these families to help them and get the. I'm sorry. Just with the kids, I want them to be special. I don't want them to be in a plain box.
Trey Ganem has designed caskets for some of the victims in the Sutherland Springs shooting. He is now doing the same for victims at Robb Elementary. He and his staff say they want to make sure the families know in their hearts that they want to make each one of these caskets special.
I want them to know that we're thinking about them, praying for them, and, we care about them, and Texas behind them, and we're here to help them.
The first 6 caskets driven overnight from Georgia. Staff working to paint and design them right now. They'll be delivered to Uvalde tomorrow.
Wow. Now to the latest in the investigation. DPS now shifting the timeline again. It's sharing more details on the 911 calls and police response. Investigators say the police chief for Uvalde CISD responded to an active shooter situation, then changed the response to a barricade situation, meaning that officers were kept out of the building. Now, in terms of how the response was made, he said this.
Hey, for the benefit of hindsight, where I'm sitting now, of course it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision, period.
And tonight, we look at the latest timeline.
I'll begin first and foremost with the timeline as we know it.
At 11:27 Tuesday morning, DPS says video evidence shows a teacher propped a door open at Robb Elementary. The next minute, the gunman crashes into a ditch nearby and shoots towards 2 men. Investigators say a teacher left the building with her phone, but the door stayed open.
And then again, we see through video, teacher reemerges inside the school in panic and apparently calls 911.
Investigators say a resource officer heard the 911 call but arrived in the back of the school, passing the suspect who was behind a car. At 11:31, DPS says the gunman started shooting at the school. This map shows where he walked to get into the building 2 minutes later. Soon after, DPS says shots were fired into either room 111 or 112.
We do know this, that he shot more than 100 rounds based on the audio evidence at that time, at least 100 rounds.
And at 11:35, Uvalde police officers enter the building through the same door the suspect used. 2 of those officers were grazed by bullets. DPS has said officers took cover and called in resources while evacuating other students. At 11:37, DPS says shots were fired again and multiple times afterwards.
One at 11:37 and 16 seconds, 11:38, 11:40, 11:44.
Then at 11:51, more officers arrive. And by 12:03, DPS says as many as 19 officers were in a hallway. At that same time, someone in classroom 112 called 911.
She called back. In room 12, advised there multiple dead.
Members of the Border Patrol tactical team arrive at 12:15. And a minute later, someone in room 112 called 911.
Again at 12:16, she called back and said there was 8 to 9 students alive.
5 minutes later, DPS says officers moved down the hallway and then another 911 call is made where shots are heard. DPS says a student then called for help.
Student child called back and was told to stay on the line and be very quiet. At approximately 12:43 and 12:47, she asked 911 to please send the police now.
Then at 12:50, officers use a janitor's key to get into a locked classroom and kill the gunman.
Now, DPS also shared information on things the alleged gunman shared with people on social media. The first chat involved a discussion about a school shooter. That was in February. And then in March, he talked about buying a gun. Investigators say that the alleged gunman used a debit card to buy a semi-automatic rifle right after he turned 18 this month.
Today, Governor Greg Abbott said he was livid after learning about the response and that timeline from police. He also decided against attending the National Rifle Association event in Houston today, although he did send a pre-recorded message. As more people called for stricter gun laws, Governor Greg Abbott focused on another topic today. The Night Team's Patty Santos says that's led to frustrations among some lawmakers.
This is enough. Call us back, man. State Senator Roland Gutierrez crashed Governor Greg Abbott's press conference to beg the leader of our state to call a special session this summer to address gun laws.
I'm asking for a special session. No way an 18-year-old should have access to this weaponry. If you have to be 21 to buy a gun, you should be 21 to buy a rifle like this.
In Texas, it's legal for an 18-year-old to buy an AR-style weapon. The shooter used a semi-automatic rifle. DPS says he fired about 100 rounds in 4 minutes. Instead of taking on the topic of firearms, the governor focused on mental health and offered resources to the community. Investigators say there's no indication that the shooter had known mental health issues. But Abbott's saying gun law changes are not the answer.
Anyone who suggests, well, maybe we should focus on background checks as opposed to mental health, I suggest to you is mistaken.
In 2018 and 2019, after 2 Texas mass shootings, the governor formed a task force seeking legislative recommendations. Those included hardening school security instead of restrictions on firearms.
This summer, do one thing. Do one thing. Do 2 things, 3 things that make sense. And maybe we diminish another event. It's just enough.
Second Amendment supporters say there's already enough gun laws in the books. They just need to be enforced.
No matter how many laws you pass, bad people are going to find a way to do their evil deeds. And this was evil incarnate.
Steve, Stephanie, Governor Abbott did say earlier in the press conference that in regards to a special session, quote, all options are on the table. Now, in conversations with NRA members in the Uvalde community, I'm hearing a change in thought about whether or not laws that allow 18-year-olds to buy these types of weapons should be changed. Senator Gutierrez says he's also gotten some calls from Republicans who agree.
Eddie. Our coverage continues tonight. I get a tour and the honor of visiting one of the city's trauma teams. They tell me what they went through Tuesday after that shooting in Uvalde and their biggest regret. A behind-the-scenes tour of the trauma unit at University Hospital is next on the Nightbeat.
The injuries don't necessarily scare us. It's just the amount of people and the children. That's what really gets to you.
Caring for the littlest survivors. The trauma team from San Antonio's University Hospital waited almost 2 hours for the first patient to arrive from Robb Elementary School in Uvalde on Tuesday. Tonight, I get a behind-the-scenes tour with these trauma specialists as they relive what happened and when they finally realized that the number of patients they'd prepared for were never coming.
When you go home, you get to hug your family member, and you know that there are many families that couldn't do that, could never do that again.
A veteran trauma surgeon on the verge of tears. As professional and acclaimed as the University Hospital trauma team is, they're also human.
It's hard to see the extent of those wounds on humans. Not just little kids.
Dr. Lillian Liao literally walked me through what she and her team experienced the day of the shooting. The hallways, the rooms, the special elevators reserved to respond quickly.
So this is the secret elevator. Only special people have privileges.
As we walk onto the helipad, Dr. Liao describes the wounds that the children from Uvalde had, what she calls severe destructive wounds.
Areas of the body, parts are not quite identifiable. We're missing soft tissue. We're potentially missing some bone, muscle, large wounds.
University Hospital would receive 2 patients from Uvalde by helicopter, taken off the choppers, rolled down this walkway, then through this door to a waiting elevator where Dr. Liao and her team were waiting.
Our first instinct is just to prepare. We prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
The team was ready for as many patients as they could handle. They treated the 4 and waited for more. They never arrived.
You get to that point where you're just waiting, and then you realize the patients aren't coming, and you start to realize why they aren't coming. You start to actually get disappointed that more patients aren't coming to you because you know there's nothing you can do at that point.
You want to receive as many patients as you can.
Yeah, I think for a while, that was the disappointing part. We wish we would have saved more people.
2 members of the trauma team also treated patients after the Sutherland Springs shooting, but there were more of them. The team's biggest regret around Uvalde, that more students didn't make it to their doors.
I went home that night and cried and hugged my kids. Our team cried together that day before we left.
What are you going to take from this incident, do you think?
I just hope it doesn't happen again, but I just feel like it will.
There was some good news today. One of the patients from Uvalde got to go home. Dr. Liao and the team also talked about how incredible the outpouring of people donating blood has been. They know it saves lives. Another good thing that's come from an ugly situation. I want to thank the trauma team for talking to me and for what they do.
Wow, Steve.
It's powerful talking to people whose job is to save lives, but the destructive nature of that weapon on little bodies did not make that possible.
Yeah, and that's something that many of us didn't really know and understand. Yeah. But when they describe it that way, you get it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, the reason that we're showing you the San Antonio Zoo right now is because it's lit up. That's that pink, magenta, purple color.
Maroon. Yep.
Yeah, that's like that's the school color from Robb Elementary. And the San Antonio Zoo has been lighting up that area since yesterday, and it's something that they're going to do for 21 days in honor of each of the victims.
Yeah, also the color for the Uvalde High School team, maroon. Adam, we're heading towards Memorial Day weekend.
We are, and it's going to be another hot one. Temperatures are back to reality this time of year. 98 degrees tomorrow and Sunday, right up near 100 basically. Just shy of record-breaking territory, but well above average. And even into Monday, Memorial Day, looks like we'll be in the mid-90s. Okay, let's get to our rainfall. I wish we could drum up some more rain, but unfortunately it's just not in the works right now. We're well below average. May is typically one of our rainiest months. We've had 0.86 inches officially at the airport. That's 3 inches below average, and year to date, we're just shy of 8 inches below average. There's moisture out there, it's just not here. East Coast, Pacific Northwest, we've got the big blue H that's settling in turn. That's going to keep us sunny, high and dry. No chance of rain anytime soon. The faucet has been turned off for now. 99 today. That was our high temperature, 10 degrees above average, 1 degree shy of the record high for the day. And right now, for the most part, we're in the 80s. 89 Del Rio, 84 Hondo, Kerrville at 77, and right now Comfort at 78, 80 degrees in Converse. Tomorrow morning we'll be in the upper or lower 70s, some upper 60s in the hill country, but lower 70s locally. 73 degrees the morning temperature. Early risers will have some clouds, otherwise a sunny day, and right into the upper 90s for highs. 97 Rio Medina, mid 90s in the hill country. Canyon Lake about 96, Comfort as well. South side of town 98, and Pleasanton 99. If you are headed to the bay or the beach this weekend, it's going to be windy, so expect that chop on the back bays, and also seas of about 4 to 5 feet on the beach side, highs in the mid 80s. You'll notice the wind around town too, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, some gusts up to 30 miles per hour. A lot of sunshine, unfortunately no sign of rain.
Stay hydrated.
All right, Game 7, is it Boston or Miami?
Well, that's the big question right now. Will there be a Game 7? Because the simple fact is Game 6 is not over yet. We're going right down to the wire. When we come back, is Boston in, or are we going to a Game 7? Maybe we'll find out in a couple of seconds here. And Dak's big locker room move coming up. In Boston tonight, Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, the Celtics have pushed the Miami Heat to the brink of elimination. The Heat without Tyler Hero, who still is out with a pulled groin, so it's up to Jimmy Butler to carry the load. Butler, the catch-and-shoot three for the top of the arc is good. Then the corner three at the top of your screen. Butler 6 of 10, 14 points in the first quarter. The Celtics make a push in the second. Jaylen Brown scores the last 11 points in the quarter for Boston. The drive to the rim for the bucket and the foul. Brown and Jason Tatum both had 18 points in the break for the Celtics, but it was Miami up 2, 48-46 at the break. Coming down to the wire, it was tied at one point late in this game. 12 seconds to play. Miami has a lead 109-103. Looks like there is going to be a Game 7 in Miami on Sunday night. The Golden State Warriors are back and will play the winner between Boston and Miami in the 2022 NBA Finals, starting live here on KSAT 12 on Thursday. As after the Warriors were able to beat the Mavs in Game 5 last night in San Francisco to win the West 4-1. After having to return from 2 separate injuries, Thompson was finally able to come back this January, and he scored 32 points against the Mavs in Game 5 to announce his return. Warriors were up by 17 at the half, never really looked back, leading to their 6th NBA Finals in the last 8 seasons. 120-110 for Klay Thompson. It was a very emotional moment.
Just such a surreal feeling. It's hard to put into words, really. This time last year, I was just starting to jog again and get up and down the court. And now to be feeling like myself, feeling explosive, feeling sure in my movements, I'm just grateful. And that kind of came, all those emotions just kind of rushed through me.
By the way, Klay's teammate Steph Curry was awarded the inaugural Western Conference Finals MVP award, named after the Lakers' great and Hall of Famer Magic Johnson. Curry averaged almost 24 points a game in the Western Conference Finals, almost 7.5 assists to go along with his 6.5 rebounds, all while shooting almost 44% from three-point range in this series. Now the Warriors wait to see who they will meet in the NBA Finals. They could find out as early as tonight in a matter of seconds if Boston beats Miami in Game 6, but it doesn't look that way.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has made a leadership and locker room move that now that CeeDee Lamb is his #1 wide receiver. This after the Cowboys decided not to hang on to Amari Cooper due to his heavy price tag, who is now signed with the Cleveland Browns. Dak requested, now has accomplished moving Lamb's locker closer to his in order to build a chemistry between the two. 20 games of Prescott as a starting quarterback, Lamb has done quite well in his career with 102 catches for over 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns, and Prescott is hoping to improve their communication. It was Lamb himself who confirmed the move when asked about it during the organized team activities.
Dak did. He was here before me, but then we had talked weeks prior before actually we all having to be here. But we kind of came together. I need to be next to him, and we got to get this ball rolling.
Here you go. Speaking of wide receivers, Brandon Cooks is returning to Texas for the next 2 seasons after he agreed to a new 2-year deal worth $40 million. Cooks, who with his nearly 2-year-old son Maverick in his arms, was asked about being able to re-sign in Houston.
It was huge, not just for my family and I, but, believing in what, this organization is trying to get done and what Nick and Coach Levy is building. So it's definitely a blessing. And, I'm glad we can put that behind us and get back to work.
All right, Colin Kaepernick's workout with the Raiders and high school softball playoffs next.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Colin Kaepernick's workout with the Las Vegas Raiders went well, but according to ESPN, there's no imminent deal for the 34-year-old quarterback. This was Kaepernick's truly first shot at getting back in the NFL after not being able to play in the league since he began kneeling during the national anthem in 2016 to protest racial injustice. The nation's top available basketball transfer, Tyrese Hunter, announced his commitment to Texas. The former Iowa State guard had Texas on his final list, including Tennessee, Gonzaga, Louisville, Kansas, and Purdue. The 6-foot guard was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year last season. Game 2 of the UIL Class 6A softball regional final between O'Connor Panthers and Wesco being broadcast tonight on our BGC app, thanks to our Texas Sports Productions partners. Partners are here. Panthers, I should say, rolling early in this one, top of the second, already up 1-0. Jada Munoz crushes one to deep center field and is gone. A 2-run blast gives O'Connor a 3-0 lead after one. Offense stays hot in the top of the 5th. Now up 4-0. Ella Salinas drives in another run with an RBI double. The Panthers win it 7-6. They sweep the series, and now they are headed to state. We're just getting an update right now on the Eastern Conference Finals. It will go to a Game 7. That's after Boston fell tonight by a final score of 113-103. That Game 7, by the way, will be in Miami on Sunday night, and the NBA Finals start right here on KSAT 12 Thursday.
So they need to make up their minds.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're back in 2 minutes.
I just want to remind everybody that we will have special coverage of the President and the First Lady's visit to Uvalde on Sunday. I'm planning on being in Uvalde along with a number of our reporters for what is sure to be a solemn occasion.
So join us on air and online. For now, that does it for the Night Beat. And don't forget that Good Morning San Antonio starts at 6.
Have a great weekend.